What up, YouTube? Knives and Gear Insights here with another short review of a knife that I won actually a little while ago. And today we're talking about the Chop 2. And this was a win from edccarry during his 6K giveaway. 6K subscribers, and I basically won the main prize on his giveaway, which is cool. By the way, check out his channel. He's got a good channel. Definitely recommended channel. But yeah, back to the knife. So this is the Northmountainblade Chop 2. And as you remember, I don't know if you remember it, but during my unboxing video, I had basically mentioned that I added this thumb stud basically right straight out of the box. Just because of the action this knife has. So nothing has changed in my opinion. The flipper tab works. Like I said, it works. It is a little weak because the detent on this knife is fairly non-existent. It will hold the blade. I mean, you can't shake it out. I mean, if you probably shake it out full force, it will probably shake it out. I'm not going to do that on screen right now. But just in general, it will stay definitely in place. But it's a weak detent. So with this flipper, or I mean with this thumb studs, it makes it so much more enjoyable, I feel like, and it adds a lot of value to the knife. I enjoyed carrying this knife in the last week. Definitely, it's not a bad knife, and I like the looks. I do definitely like the looks of what Northmountainblade did with this one. Also, the Ultem here, the grippiness of the scales, that square pattern that they put in here, that makes it really nice to hold. Even if you get a little bit more sweaty hands, you don't have a problem holding on to it. Button lock has no button stick, works great. These thumbs, like I said, these thumbs that just add so much to the value of it. So if you pick this up, quick sets you can get on Amazon really cheap. Like you can get an 8-pack like for just barely over $10. The only thing you got to think about, this is a really thick blade stock, so you will have to file your quick set open much more. So it took me a while to file this open by hand, but it's definitely worth the effort, especially with this knife here. You got a steel pocket clip all the way around T8 hardware. You got I still didn't find out what this backspace is made of. I think it's brass, but I could be wrong. It's quite heavy. It adds a little weight in the back. You got a T8 pivot here. You got SLD-Magic steel. Not much of billboarding on the blade, which is cool. I like this design on the blade, which is like, because this is a 3-layer blade, the SLD-Magic steel is very similar to D2, like in composition, like in edge retention and stuff like that. But this SLD-Magic, I guess it adds a little bit of corrosion resistance to the blade. Overall, really cool knife. I would definitely recommend it. And it has this nice look. Like, I mean, it just looks different to many other knives on the market. I think this is something I dig. I really like this look. So let's get one more time a refresher on the specs real quick here. So we got a weight, I believe it was a little bit under 4 ounces, if I remember right. Yeah, 3.98 ounces. So you're just right under 4 ounces. And you got an overall length on this knife. Let me get my tape measure out. So you got an overall length on this knife of right at 8 inches. You got a blade length of about 3 5/8, and you got a cutting edge of about 3.5. Overall, really great. You got a really thin and slicey hollow ground. I don't know if you can see this edge, but this is very thin. Very thin edge here. You got a flat ground tip here, which is also cool for like more utility cuts. This thing will go through paper and through boxes like a razor. Definitely, I've tried it. I've cut a few things, and also rope and stuff like this. definitely really, really sharp. Um, definitely a laser beam when it comes to that. And it's easy to actually maintain. So I stropped this, and I think in the time I used it, because I used it quite a bit actually in this past week. Um, all I did was drop it one time, and it was back to its original sharpness. So I'm still looking at this blade as like factory edge wise. Northmountainblade has done a really great job on this. Like they really keep this edge like razor sharp. Overall, you got, of course, like I said, the Ultem scales. You got some weight reduction in here, and it's with 4 ounces for a full size knife. You got great ergos on it. Of course, since this is not something that's intended as a forward choil, so you don't put your fingers on here. But it is great. Yeah, I have a full 4-finger grip on this with a little bit room to spare. Downside, pocket clip is non-reversible. Unfortunately, I wish they had done this. You know, it wouldn't have really cost much more to add a little groove into Ultem here, and then 2 holes with a so you can swap the pocket clip around. I mean, I guess it's just because it's a button lock. They don't intend it to be a left-handed knife, but there's plenty left-handed like me that still use a button lock just as well. We just use our index finger instead of our thumb for the button, so not a big deal breaker, of course. Let's do some size comparisons real quick, so we can wrap this up. Here we got the CBB Neurohaptic. Here we got a very similar looking knife, the what is it called? ProTech Mordax. Sorry. So you can see the Mordax is about a little bit longer, about a 1/4 inch longer, and the Neurohaptic is about 1/2 inch, maybe even almost close to an inch longer. So, and then we got let's go in the budget range here. We got the Voici Porcupine. We got the Fintiso Cobra. You can see that they're both smaller carries, smaller knives. And then we got the Fintiso Atlas here, which is very similar in length. And then last but not least, size comparison here, my Manix 2. Also, Manix 2, it might be just a hair longer, not by much, or not the same, just maybe an 1/8 longer, not really much. So, size comparisons, you can see that. Yeah, definitely, like I said, I would recommend this now. Like I even mentioned this already during my unboxing first impression video. I recommend this knife even with its flaw that the detent is pretty weak, and that the flipper tab is a little weak overall. But just this little thing here makes this knife worth so much more. It's so much more interesting, so much more satisfying with this little thumb stud. And due to that, I would still recommend this knife the way it is. You know, you can buy this little thumb stud for $1 and some change and add it to it, do a little filing on it, and you got a great knife. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me for today. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.